This is the Male Rights Activist Podcast, episode 209, where we focus on relationships, sports, pop culture, and politics from a managed point of view. First of all, we want to thank our listeners, our new ones, our OGs. Thank you for hanging with the fellas.
What up?
On today's show, we have a Dear Erby from a man who found out his girl is doing porn.
Yep, man, he was tipped off and having sex with her. He fell in.
Kamal got into a physical altercation with a fellow parent.
All I said was, your kid is dumb as fuck.
Exactly. Why they so sensitive these days, dog? Biden is paying back student loans, and Hillary explains why she stayed with Bill. All that and more right now. This is the MRA podcast with Kyle and Kamal, where men come to talk and women come to eavesdrop. I am Kyle.
I am Kamal.
And we're helping you to understand the man you love. Let's get to the news. Kamal.
Oh, man, let's get into it now.
Colin Kaepernick. We all know him, man. His girlfriend had a baby, Kamal.
Coolness, man. Congratulations.
Yeah, man. Yeah, she posted a long announcement on Instagram where she said at the end she signed it from the Kaepernicks. Yeah. You know, Colin was thinking, I would have remembered if I got on one knee.
Ha.
Think I would have remembered that.
I think everybody would have remembered. Like
everybody, especially him.
Especially him.
Yeah.
Yo, man, according to reports, experts are saying, like, it could possibly be Europe's largest dinosaur skeleton ever found.
Oh,
was
really?
located in a Portugal man's backyard.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I said that wrong. I'm sorry. Europe's largest dinosaur skeleton was found in the Portugal soon-to-be millionaire's backyard.
Yes. That clarification makes all the difference, Kamal.
Oh, yeah. I know.
Oh, yeah.
I know for me, I might be a billionaire, man. Y'all ain't getting this shit. It's my property. Y'all ain't getting this motherfucker.
You're going to have to let's go a little higher.
A
little higher, man. Speaking of billionaires, man, Mark Zuckerberg was on Joe Rogan's podcast, and he said he wakes up to millions of text messages, a lot of them negative, Kamal. Yeah, and to recover, he goes outside to do a physical activity like surfing, which, come on, man, that's a slap in the face to people who never do anything physical because they're surfing his act. That's like Philip Morris bragging, like, life is good, just out here breathing with two lungs. Woo, it's nice.
Yeah, they do it. Philip Morris employees doing breathing exercises and shit.
Yeah, showing off. That's like a meth dealer showing off his teeth. Like, yeah, look at him. Oh, boy. Y'all ain't got him, but look at mine. Look at mine.
These pearly whites.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of dickhead billionaires, Elon Musk's mother reveals she sleeps in a garage when she visits her son in Texas. You hear that, Tesla employees? That man makes his mama sleep in the garage. Y'all ain't never getting a union.
Never.
This man don't fuck around.
Hey, man. Mama got to understand, man. It makes business sense to have you in the garage.
Yeah.
Now, did she explain it's likely a converted garage, man? That's some bullshit, man.
A garage is a garage. Them niggas ain't never unionizing.
I can't imagine her sleeping in a garage where the cars go, bro. It has to be the den. It's got to be the den that she's calling a garage. You know what I mean? Like, my grandma's house had a den that I never even realized used to be a garage.
If she's calling it a garage, it probably
is
a
garage.
Fly.
Mama called it a garage.
I'm saying it probably ain't that fly. I'm sure, you know what I'm saying, the Dodge ain't, you know, she ain't sleeping next to the Dodge or nothing like that.
Yeah.
You know, if she calling it a garage.
Mama called it a garage, I'm going to call it a garage. Yeah. Stallone's wife is leaving him after sticking by his side for 25 years, Kamal.
Oh, wow. I thought
he covered her tat on his arm with a picture of his dog because you don't have to keep any dog in your house for 25 years. Dogs know when to leave.
Yes, they know exactly. Or somebody knows when to take them. Yo, man, an Italian man is believed to be the first person diagnosed with monkeypox, COVID-19, and HIV at the same time.
Wow.
Yep. This is why you don't have unprotected sex with heroin addicted anti-vaxxer monkeys. That shit is bad.
It's just not a good idea, man.
Not a good idea.
That's ridiculous, man. Speaking of what some people are calling a mistake, President Biden announced that he is canceling student loan debt. Ironically, the debt is being canceled over an old tweet. Yes, over an old tweet.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
Hey, you know, we're going to talk about it in the segment, though. We might have some reservations. We'll talk about it.
All right. Yo, the Georgia man was awarded $100 million after being tased by the police that left him paralyzed from the neck down.
Damn, that's a lot of tasing.
We got some good news. The man said there's an experimental surgery that can reverse his paralysis. The bad news, it cost $101 million.
Just missed it up. Damn, speaking of assholes, man. That's cold, dog.
Yeah,
that's funny.
Shot, man.
I mean, speaking of assholes, remember Phil Collins' ex-wife?
Do not like the woman.
Oh man, the woman who tried to sell his platinum records. We all remember her. A judge. Oh yeah. A judge threw out her $20 million lawsuit. Come out after the trial. She was seen digging through the trash, yelling, "$20 million is an expensive suit. I can sell that."
Silly shit.
It's one of those days, guys. We're trying.
This man is silly. A nationwide outage left millions of people without the ability to use their EBT cards.
Ooh.
And this was extremely problematic for the millions of people who had already paid their cousins cash to use those EBT cards. All right.
That's really bad.
Problematic to say
in
the
all
least.
ways.
Yes.
Hey man, speaking of problematic, come out. Ari Spears caught a lot of heat saying Lizzo looks like the shit emoji.
What?
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah, man. He went in, man. Somebody asked him a question and then he responded with that, which I was like, did he already have that written? Because damn, that's cold. He went on to say that she needs to get healthier, and listen, part of that was mean, but in Ari's defense, Kamal, he admitted that he is saying this as a fat man. You should be able to talk about a fat person if you're fat, just like you should be able to call Phil Collins' ex-wife a gold digger if you are K-fed. It just
K-fed to gold.
If you're K-fed, you should be able to call her.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Only K-fed.
Only K-fed, dude.
Yo, according to a recent study, ejaculating at least 21 times a month may protect you against prostate cancer.
Praise the Lord.
Yep. So when your partner's not in the mood, it's always important to take your health into your own hand.
Absolutely. Great way to end. When we come back, man, we got some feedback. Then we have a post nut from a woman who gave a man some, and he gave her something in return. What was it? Was it monkeypox? We're going to tell you really soon. It's the MRA Podcast.
Monkeypox.
Hey, what's up, guys? I sure hope you're enjoying the show. If you like it, I invite you to go to our website, themrapodcast.com, and catch up on over 100 episodes that we have in store for you.
You ain't working, you might as well check us out.
And if you want some more, go over to The World According to Cheryl and check me out on Cheryl Underwood's podcast. We post content there every single day. We have her normal radio show labeled SUR, and then the Cheryl Underwood podcast, where we get in her personal business every Friday. Then on the weekends, we have the specialty shows that range from Late Night Cupcake to Auntie Cheryl's House Party to our gospel show, Spiritual Nourishment.
You gotta check out The World According to Cheryl, even though I ain't on it.
We got some feedback, homie.
Do we?
Yeah, man. Some of our favorites. Jenny from the Globe says, y'all crack me up. Driving through Alabama, listening to y'all. You should do more than one a week. I need more content to listen to. LOL. That's very nice from Jenny.
Go down, Jen.
I know. You know how hard it is to get one out, Jen? You got to be. One day, maybe. One day when we get on that Joe Rogan level.
Oh, yeah, possibly, yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Lakers Lover 77 agrees with our take on Pau Gasol. She says, facts. Love Pau, but retiring his jersey is definitely because of how he has been since Kobe passed away. I'm happy for him, though. Lakers for life. And then this last one is from DNATHDTLA. DNATHDTLA. DTLA. I'm always trying to figure out what that means because I know this person's real name. Since Kamal's story was compelling, completely gut-wrenching, and disgusting. I'm guessing this is when you talked about the whole shit about the kids.
Yeah, the trans kid getting beat up.
Yeah, man.
Getting lured outside and
that was fucked up.
Ambushed.
While I do feel like there is a much larger, honest conversation to be had regarding the mental health of anyone going through gender, is it dysphoria?
Yeah, dysphoria.
Okay. I personally prefer to refer to anyone's gender according to their biological assessment at birth. Ooh, that'll get you in trouble.
I don't go. Your mama call you Clay. I'm gonna call you Clay.
I'm gonna call you Clay. All right, my dog. I ain't mad at you, bro. Let's see what he said. The fact of the matter is that every human being is entitled to their God-given rights to a peaceful life, so long as they are not infringing on those same rights of others. This boy shouldn't be subject to violence and mistreatment just because of his condition. What I love about what he's saying is, even though he don't necessarily agree with everything, I think we all agree that you should keep your hands to your damn self, dog.
Right.
Hey, man, when we come back, we have a post-nut from a woman who gave a man some, and he gave her something in return. What was it? Kamal and I will tell you next. It's the MRA Podcast. According to Webster's dictionary, being in post-nut mode is when you have a clear mind and you can make sound decisions as if you just busted a nut.
Yeah, I don't know if Webster actually said that.
No, he didn't. But our listener Big Easy Q told us all about it and we can relate. Women, men. So listen, if you have a story of when you did something foolish.
In pre-nut mode.
Yeah, something really dumb. Maybe it was top grime. Especially something in pre-nut mode you don't want nobody to know about. Hit us up and we'll tell the world. We can all laugh at your expense and hopefully you'll learn from your mistakes.
Aristotle once said, the results of pre-nut mode is the best teacher. I think he said some shit like that.
Send us your stories at Dear Erby at the MRApodcast.com. That's Dear Erby at the MRApodcast.com. And now it's time for a post-nut mode story only on the MRA Podcast. Okay, this one is from Taisha in Little Rock. She said, I work 3 jobs to support my family. It's a lot of work, come on.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I never have time to date because I'm always so busy. My job started having live entertainment and I developed a crush on one of the singers that passed through for 3 nights. I wanted to hook up with him, but I don't ever have sex with coworkers. I think it must have been a really long time since I had gotten any, so I compromised and said this didn't count since he was only working for us for 3 days. We had sex in my car and it was really good. I swear he took away 10 months of tension. Congratulations, sir. But he left me with something. The condom. Oh, come on, dog. I later realized it was still in me. Thankfully, he didn't leave me any kids or STDs. But I am so turned off that a person would do this and not tell a woman. Is this a man thing or a him thing? I'm going to say it's a him thing. I can't imagine me not. I mean, you know, he had to know. He started with a strap and ended with no strap. That's something you might want to tell somebody. Fellas, come on, man. Be better. Come out where the tight should go wrong.
I don't know if she did anything wrong. I mean, you know, sometimes you just, you know, you roll the dice and you crap out. You just get the unlucky guy that leaves one in you. You know, sometimes it just happens that way.
Yeah. Making it bad for the rest of us, dog.
Oh, yeah.
When we come back, man, Biden is paying back student loans. He's not actually doing it. The taxpayers are doing it. Are we cool with that? Kamal and I will tell you how we feel next. It's MRA Podcast. Hey guys, if you're digging the show, then please tell somebody. People might say something to you like, hey man, you know what podcast you listening to? And that's when you say the MRA Podcast with Kyle and Kamal.
Or the MRA Podcast with Kamal and Kyle.
Kamal, President Biden said he's going to pay off student loans, or taxpayers are going to pay off student loans. $10,000 or $20,000. Those are the choices. My girl Courtney Black from Cheryl Underwood Radio famously had $100,000 in student debt, so it won't help her, Kamal. She's been a guest on the show. She is funny. But for people like us that's been out of school for a while, might have a brown 10 grand left. I don't know if they're going to take mine. Listen, let me tell you how I feel about this, man. I think people should pay their own loans back. That's how I feel. I feel like it's entitlement to think that the government owes you, even though it's a bullshit loan. Let's get real. It's a loan that you signed when you was a child, most likely, and it's a loan that you you don't realize how long you're going to be paying for this shit for the rest of your goddamn life. You know it's bad when you got to merge your student loan with your parent loan, as it is the case for me. So I do think people should just pay their own loans back. But that being said, I will be happy if they take the rest of my student loans. Come on, how you feel?
I'm good with it, man. Mm-hmm. I'm good with it. And it's not that. Here's the thing. Here's what I don't like about the student loan repayment. This is the only thing I don't like. You know what I'm saying? Like, they look at your overall income and determine how much you have to pay per month. Mm-hmm. But what they don't take into consideration is your bills. What comes out of your house. You know what I'm saying? They don't take into consideration any of your expenses. And so it's like, you know, if you got like, you know, $50,000-$60,000 worth of student loans, they're like, all right, we're gonna need about $800 a month. You're like, well, after I pay for my kids' schooling and pay for, you know, the house note and blase this, blase that, I can probably only afford maybe $150 a month. They're like, well, that don't work. You can get a forbearance. And so it's like, either pay it now or kick it down the road and we add interest. So I hate the way they do business. They don't try to work with you at all. And like I said, they just don't take it into consideration your expenses. It's really just black and white with them. So, you know, if they get got, I'm good with it. Just because their business practices, I think, are just, you know.
Now, how do you feel about every taxpayer having to pay? You know, that's what Republicans always go to. Taxpayers' money, taxpayers' money, taxpayers' money. I never thought about that. But now, you know, as I think about it, as you know, look at it a different perspective. It's like, so you're saying that it's like when they say, you know, every taxpayer should pay so that a person could stay home or pay for somebody's child care so they can work, a man or a woman. And it's like, I don't want to pay for your child care, dog. I don't want to pay for you. I went to college and I have student loans. But what if I'm saying, hey man, I didn't go to college. I did trade school, bro. Like, nah, I didn't go to college. I started my own business. Why should I be? The reason why I usually don't give that too much thought is because it's like, well, you're gonna be, it's your money, but it ain't like they're gonna spend it well anyway. They're gonna be spending it. Well, I don't know. How do you feel about the thought of people that didn't make that mistake?
Dude, everybody pays for shit they don't use. When they pay taxes, I would say most of the time you're not paying for the shit you use. I don't have any kids in public school. I pay for that. I can't opt out of that shit. You know, we don't use the public library. Can't opt out of that. I've never had to call the fire department. Can't opt out of that. I've never called the police.
But all those things, I think you would agree, we want. I know I want all those things. I'm saying
it hasn't benefited me at all. You know what I'm saying? Since I've been a taxpayer, these things have not benefited me. So, but I do it because, hey man, society needs it, and it's, you know, it's for the greater good. And so, if this debt is crippling my fellow American and myself included, included, and again, I don't get to choose where my taxes go. I don't get to choose if they want to subsidize the farmers or coal miners, and you know, I don't get to choose that shit. You know, I know for one thing, I sure as hell didn't support like going to Iraq in that war I paid for. You know, because the president at the time said this is where we got to go. So it's like, dude, we can't pick and choose where we gonna like show some outrage. Because again, most people pay taxes for shit they won't use. It doesn't benefit them at all. But for this one, because it might help their next door neighbor out, they want to complain. You know, I don't, hey man, the government does what the government does. And it's like it or lump it, it is what it is. And for this one, yeah, it might benefit me. But for the most part, most of the shit I pay for does not.
Well said, dog. When we come back, man, Miss Hillary Clinton explains why she stayed with Bill. Is she whack for this? Do you lose respect for her for staying? What'd you say?
No, I'm laughing, man. Is she whack?
Is she whack? Let's just keep it real with the way we speak. Is she whack as fuck for that shit? Kamal and I are going to tell you next. It's the MRA podcast. Hey guys and gals, if you're enjoying the show, let someone know. Whatever app you're listening on, please subscribe, give us 5 stars, and leave a positive comment.
And why wouldn't you give us 5 stars and a positive comment? We're great.
Yes, we are. This helps our placement so that other people can enjoy the show as well.
And why wouldn't they? We're great.
Kamal, you sent me this. Hillary Clinton's on a podcast with her daughter, and she was asked, you have a marriage that has been on public display since the beginning. You said the gutsiest thing you ever did was to stay in your marriage, and Miss Hillary, she nods her head, and then she says, that doesn't mean it's right for everybody. What do you take from Hillary staying in her marriage, Kamal? Is there something you got from this podcast that you give us some insight on? You think she's whack for staying?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Hillary Clinton's husband at the time was one of 42 people ever in the history of the world. He was one of 42. You just don't divorce that. And I took from her, she's saying, hey, it ain't gonna work for everybody because everybody ain't got what I got. You know what I'm saying? Everybody does not have what I have. Your husband manages, Blockbuster Video. No more Blockbuster. Maybe you should, maybe leaving works for you. My guy, just being married to this dude, I ain't had to work since. As a matter of fact, not only do I don't have to work, I get paid to go out and give my thoughts. And then, you know what? I got some political aspirations. People like me, or they like my husband. So I get, I become a senator and Secretary of State. A lot of this shit, I don't think.
And win the popular vote against to run for president. You literally won the popular vote.
Got more votes than the next guy. I really do think if she divorced him back then, I think that, I don't know if she would be where she's at. She might be like a celebrity still, maybe like hosting TV shows like a Oprah or something like that. She would have been like, a feminist's idol and hero. But I don't think that's what she wanted. She wanted
Bigger
to be in the big chair. And the only way she was gonna get in the big chair is if she stood by her man, which she did, and she came about 70,000 votes from being the man. She came this close. As a woman, closer than any woman has, and maybe ever will. And so, I think she made a wise decision, but her advice to everybody else, see what you're working with first before you make that decision. Because 9 times out of 10, y'all ain't working with what I was working with.
I love her mentality. Let's just get this straight, though. You know who some people are saying has the best chance to win in the White House against whoever goes next if Biden doesn't run? One of the big names is Michelle Obama. Why? Because she was married to Barack Obama. Ladies, if you find the right guy, and a lot of you already know this, whatever he has, you have. His cachet is your cachet. When he becomes, his name is Mud, then, like Derek Chauvin's wife, you cash it in and you go. Always bothered me like she didn't know he wasn't shit before. You know what I mean? Like, you. Wow. Now you know he ain't shit. You didn't, never saw it, huh? Okay. My message to everybody is strive to be so great that your mate has to walk it off. That's what I want. I want that Bill Cosby fame, that Bill Cosby successful. Wifey is like, y'all go if you want, but I'm staying right there.
Yeah,
that's great. That's how you want to kill. You want to kill it where it's like Bill Clinton literally embarrassed his wife. Even though I don't agree that what he did had anything to do with his wife, his actions caused shame on his wife. But his value was so high that it more than balanced it out to make her say, because she can leave now. She's still like, but she still got her family intact.
Yeah. I mean, Hillary made a business decision.
Yeah, she did.
That's all this was. This was a business decision. And I'll say this, man. I probably said this before on this show. I truly believe dude loves his wife.
You talking about Billy?
Bill.
Absolutely.
I believe he's in love with his wife. I remember there was an old clip. They were doing an interview together on TV. One of the lights fell. And the way that man protected his wife. You know, I always say, like, man, you get to know somebody, your mate, in a time of crisis. You get to really know him. And when he thought that light was going to strike his wife, that man sprung into action and was like, you know, let me protect my wife. And so it's like, yeah, man, she's like, nigga, just be less sloppy. Yeah. I know my dude is into me, but he got needs that I can't fulfill all the time. I'm good with it. And I think he embarrassed her, but I don't think he pissed her off.
Well, I love that, man. It's all about finding the right one. Fellas, you got to find one that's right or die, but you have to do your part and be as great as you can be. When we come back, Kamal, you called it, man. KD is staying in Brooklyn. You're going to give us the secret sauce of how you knew this all along, even when people panic like myself. I can't say I panicked, but I was ready to write him off. That's coming up next. And then later in the show, we have a very special host shit. Kamal got into a physical altercation with a parent. We don't know who has the whole shit. Is it Kamal or is it the parent? But we're going to find out very soon. Please stay for that. It's the MRA podcast. You listen to us, but Kamal and I want you to know that we listen to you too.
Even if we don't always respond to your tweets in a timely manner.
I love how you say we, man. So if you have some feedback, maybe you agree.
Maybe you disagree.
Or maybe you just want to tell us how much you love the show, or that you want to testify about how we specifically helped you out. Or maybe you just want to tell Kamal how he was right or wrong.
But mostly right.
Whatever you want to tell us, hit us on our social. I'm at Dear Erby.
I'm at Angry Kamal.
Hit us up and you just might hear your comment on the air.
Promise. We'll be gentle.
Kamal, I remember I was working on a Carnival boat out of New York when KD said he wanted to trade. And I loved it so much because, you know, when you work a boat out of wherever you leave from, it's like being in that city for a week. Even though you're not in that city, you're in Jamaica, wherever you're going. So I'm on a New York ship. And KD just says he's leaving. And if you just saw how furious and sad these Nets fans were, it's sad. You know, when you're a sports fan, sometimes you enjoy seeing another team's fans sad. And the anger that they had and, you know, throwing jerseys overboard. And I just loved it because KD left OKC. Then he left Golden State. And then it looked like he was about to leave Brooklyn. And I brought that energy to this show, and you put the kibosh on my energy, Kamal.
I didn't mean to.
You shit on my energy. You Amber Hearded my energy.
I did not mean to do that. Not my intention.
You squatted on my energy, and I was like, man, this nigga, I can't wait till KD leaves so I can remind him.
I was wrong.
He was wrong. Lo and behold, several months later, KD stays. What did you see that I didn't see, though?
He's too great. He's one of like the 3 best people in the league. Mm-hmm. You know, so you're not gonna get equal value, right? And
now, are you talking about Hillary Clinton or are you talking about KD? What are you talking about?
Well, that's the
Where
thing.
You going?
Hey, man,
you talking about Lori Harvey? Where you going?
When you have people, irreplaceable people, you figure out a way to make that shit work.
Ding, 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 ding.
You know, and Kevin Durant is irreplaceable. Only like 2 or 3 people in the league can bring back the value. And those 2 or 3 people in the league are off limits.
And who are those people?
I would say Giannis Antetokounmpo, Steph Curry, and maybe the big guy, Embiid, Joel Embiid, but definitely Giannis and Steph.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're leaving out LeBron, but
let's say and LeBron.
Yeah, okay.
But their respective teams ain't trading them.
No, ain't that damn crazy.
You know, so it's like, dude, we're not about to trade you for some scraps. So you got to figure that shit out. And deep down, I don't think he wanted to leave. Because I know he came back and said, "Hey, if you get rid of the general manager and the the coach, I'll come back." And they called this bluff. So he let them know early on that he was willing to stay if they met his demands. And they was like, "No, we ain't gonna do that." I think he let them know by saying, "These are my demands," that, oh, dude don't want to leave.
Yeah. That means all I got to do is do it.
And we won't do it, but
I get to keep it. Yeah.
he don't want to leave.
Yeah, okay. I like it. Because when she's really done, it's nothing you could do. That's a horrible feeling, man. But she's like, "Well, is there anything nope. No looking back. I'm done with you." Ouch. Okay, nothing I can fix. Nothing. I'm done. All righty. I'm gonna go over there and cry right quick. It is time. The moment we've been waiting for. Kamal is about to get into some whole shit. He texted me saying he got into a physical altercation. I said, physical?
Physical.
He said, yeah, dog. Physical. Like Olivia Newton-John, rest in peace. We're going to talk about that next. And then later in the show, we have a Dear Erby from a man who found out his girl is doing porn. What should he do? Kamal and I are going to coach him up. It's the MRA podcast. Guys, I have a comedy album. It's called Be a Man at All Times, and it's on, what's it on? Oh, Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you stream your content.
It's a damn good comedy album.
I appreciate that, man. There's stand-up on there. Kamal and I wrote a whodunit mystery called The Case of the Missing Balls. That's on there.
Based on a true story.
Check out the album. Show your boy some support. And you can buy it on iTunes. Keyword buy it. Stop streaming. All right, Kamal. It's the moment I've been waiting for. Our audience has been waiting for. Kamal gets into a physical altercation as a grown-up, man. That is a rare thing that happens. What in the hell happened, Kamal?
Okay, so let me preface this by saying my younger son's a part of like a crew of friends, right? It's about 15, 20 of them and stuff like that, right? They go to each other's birthday parties and whatnot. So we see each other, the parents, and we have relationships with them. But, now some people are part of this crew I don't know well. I know who they are, say hi and bye to them, but I don't know well. All right? And so this one particular guy, part of a crew, I don't know well, but every time he sees me, he gets really, really overly friendly. Gets too comfortable around me. All right? So the first time I met him, we were at one of the, a party and for the kids. And I'm talking to the dude's husband, black dude, really cool guy, So I'm chopping it up with him, and then this guy stumbles over. And I can see he's obviously drunk, and he starts asking me a bunch of questions. He's so fascinated with me, and so long story short, he finds out that I have an older son. And my older son goes to also an independent school, and he was like, "Wow, 2 kids in private school, you must be rich." I was like, oh my gosh, a bunch of people here have kids with 2 kids in private school, but of course the black guy, you gotta question my pockets and stuff like that. Let it slide. I see him again at a birthday party maybe last year. And this guy is just marveling at how athletic my son is. Your son's just so athletic and all this stuff. And it was like, he's not really, but okay. And the birthday party's at a race car track thing. My son wins. And the guy's like, he's so athletic. I'm telling you, he's such an athlete. Like, wait a sec, he's driving a car. He's cutting the people off, not letting them get in front of him. He's hitting the angles at the right time. If anything, it shows intelligence and great hand-eye coordination, and you're attributing it to his athletic prowess? All right. Eye roll. I just, whatever. That's this guy. Next time, I see him actually the next day at another party. He comes up to me, talking to me, just making me uncomfortable. And so my son comes up to me and says, "Dad, I left something in the car. Can I have the keys?" Give him the keys. We continue our conversation. not paying attention to the time, but my son comes back, gives me my keys, said thanks, and runs off. And the guy says, wow, that was fast. He's so fast. I was like, what the fuck, dude? Why are you always talking about how athletic my son is and all of this stuff, right? And how much money I got and all of this. So that's that guy.
Yeah.
All right. So let me tell you who he, so we know, we establish who he is. So this past Saturday, another party, and we're over there. I'm actually coming to pick up. My wife dropped off the boy. I'm doing the pickup. And so I slide through the party, say what's up to everybody, and I go outside and I sit down. I'm talking to the guy's husband again and the hostess of the party. And we're chilling and stuff like that, having a pretty good conversation. And then the kids are swimming. They get out the pool. They start drying off, and everybody's, it's about time to go. So the husband, he deals with his son. He dries them off, and they leave. Where this guy comes and sits down where his husband was. And he's talking about how good-looking my kids are and stuff like that. I was like, well, you know my older son? He's like, oh, yeah, good-looking kids and all that. I'm like, all right, whatever. So my son comes over. And this guy is like, oh, I just love him, and pulls him and sits him on his lap right in front of me. Right? And like gives him like a bear hug, like, oh, I just love this guy.
Dog.
And I'm like, Jabril, get your big ass off that man's lap. And everyone's like, talking, so I don't think he doesn't hear me. And then before I can do something, the guy starts doing the old Cosby Show thing where he's bouncing him on the knee like the rodeo. And so it's like, everyone's laughing and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh shit, man, okay. So when it's over, everyone's peacing out, and I'm sitting down. I was like, okay, I got to say something to this guy. I didn't want to air him out in front of people. I didn't want to embarrass him. So I got to say something to this dude. So when they're, saying their goodbyes, I go through the house and go out to the front yard. Like, I'm going to catch him on his way out. And when he comes outside, he's talking to me. I could tell like he's really drunk. When like drunk people, they get to touching you and like, pushing all on you and stuff like that. So he's doing that, but like in a friendly nature, but still a lot of touchy. And so his husband's there and his son, we're walking together. And then so I'm like, hey man, can I speak for you for a minute? And so the husband now, okay, and takes the boy and they go ahead. My son's outside too. He's waiting for me to finish talking. And I tell him, I'm like, hey, look, man, I'm sure it was harmless. I don't want my son sitting on your lap, And he says, what? I said, yeah, I don't want my son sitting on your lap. And he said, that didn't happen. I'm like, what? You pulled my son on your lap. Well, that's inappropriate. I said, yeah, inappropriate like what you did? And he said, no, what you're saying is inappropriate. I was like, what? How is that inappropriate? And he was like, you're accusing me of being inappropriate with your son. I was like, no, I'm not. I said, I'm sure it was harmless. Just, I don't want my son sitting on a grown man's lap. You saying I'm a pedophile and all this stuff, man. He started getting more upset. So now he's yelling at me, cussing me out. He poked me in my chest and I pushed him off of me. I mean, and once he like stumbled into the street, he came back like to rush me, and I lifted my fist up like I was gonna hit him and told him, hey man, I'm about to knock you out, you better chill. So I held him at bay. Now by this time his husband sees everything, right? So he hops out the car and he gets in between us, and he's holding his guy back because the guy is obviously the aggressor. He's trying to get to me. And he's like, so what happened? And the guy says, he accused me of being inappropriate with his son. And I said, no, I didn't. All I said was, I don't want my son sitting on his lap. And the husband looks at me like, what? Like, that is not okay. And I was like, right. What he said, what he did? Like, no, what you said. I'm like, damn, I'm over 2. Both of these people are saying, me telling him that I don't want my son on his lap, sitting on his lap, that's inappropriate. Like, what the fuck? Am I in the Twilight Zone? And so this man gets more upset. And he starts getting louder and more belligerent, and he starts really cussing me out. You know, fuck you, and you homophobic, you loser, you fucking asshole. And like, my son's here, his son's here and everything. So I was like, you know what? Okay, whatever. Have a good night. So I'm walking, me and my son are walking back to the party, and he's letting me have it, just cussing me out and all of that. And so guy gets him in the car. I'm like, whatever. So I go back in the house. My son was ready to go. Full disclosure, he was ready to go. But I wanted to talk to the hostess because she saw him, like my son, sitting on dude's lap, right? She didn't see and no one saw the exchange outside except for me and the guy's husband and the two kids. Mm-hmm. So I go inside and I sit down and talk to her. I was like, hey, like me and old dude, we almost fought. And she was like, what happened? So I tell her what happened. And she said, well, you know, that's a trigger for, like, you know, the gay community. And I understand, you know, like, basically accuse them of pedophiles. A lot of people think that because they like men, they automatically like little boys. And I think that's the dumbest fucking logic, right? We like women, don't mean we like little girls, right? So I get that's a trigger. I get that they're sensitive, but what the fuck, right? The fuck am I supposed to do? Allow it to happen? And so I was like, would you want your son sitting on dude's lap? And she said, you know what? I noticed it, but I didn't think none of it because he's not my son. So I really don't know. I can't answer that. So we're talking. I'm like, well, damn, does everybody think I was the bad guy in this? Kyle, this motherfucker walked through the house. He came back. He came back. Somebody let him in. He came back. He's talking shit again about, you know, and this time he's calling me everything in the book, the F word, you know, just all types. And he called me racist, homophobic. And he's like, if he sat on the hostess lap, you know, you wouldn't have had anything to say. I was like, how do you know? You don't know me. You don't know my son. You've seen him maybe 7 times in your whole life. You've probably been around him once. And you really went around him then. You just, you know, he was in the same location as you. You know, you don't know him. And so, but I'm being really, really calm. Gandhi would be so proud of me. He would be so proud. And so I remain seated. I don't get up. I don't get, you know, he's trying to, you know, talking shit in my face. And by this time, the men in the house, they hear what's going on. They come outside and they're trying to, like, you know, ascertain what's going on. So I'm sitting on the bench and the guy sits right next to me on the bench, just yelling at me. And I'm just like, whatever, man. You know, he was, you know, like, your wife was there and she didn't have a problem with it. I was like, my wife's not here. Drunk dude, you're just really drunk. Kyle, the man punched me in my arm. The man punched me in the arm. And everybody got in between them, and I did not react. I stood there, you know, like, oh, okay, here we go. You know, it's about to go down. And so he's up, and now he's becoming more belligerent. He's trying to really get to me, and the men are trying to stop him, and they're all, you know, trying to keep him from coming to me, and he's getting, you know, physical with them. He's about to swing on them. So I'm like, okay, this isn't just me. This guy is obviously out of his goddamn mind. And his husband comes up to me and says, you should probably leave. I'm like, motherfucker, you brought him back. And he's like, I didn't bring him back. He jumped out of the car. Yeah. Like, what the fuck? This dude was out of his fucking mind. So, so the owner of the house is like, hey, listen, the guy obviously has a problem with you. So if you were just to leave, maybe, you know, we can, you know, the problem would be done. He would calm down because he's just acting a fool. So I'm like, all right, cool. You know, my boy was ready to leave anyway. So yeah, he's ready to leave anyway. So we get up to go. I mean, I get up and I'm heading. I have to go through the house. We're in the backyard. I have to go through the house to get to the, you know, to walk out the front. So right before I get to the door, the back door to go to the house, he blocks it. Like, I'm not going nowhere. I'm like, oh, okay, man. I'm just like, whatever. And his husband gets in his, tries to block him. I think he swings on the husband and all that stuff. And he's still cussing me out. Like, that never stopped. He's been trying to get to me this entire time, right? And so they finally get the men are able to talk him out, get him through the house. And by this time, all the kids are outside. They're all seeing this shit, right? And they get him outside, and they come back, and we're all talking about it. What happened? I explained to him, and the guys were like, well, that's a trigger. That's a sensitive issue for them. Like, so what? It's sensitive, so I'm supposed to allow it to happen? I'm supposed to allow this man
hilarious. It's almost like a comedy bit. Well, you can't say that to them.
Right.
Oh, shit. The fuck, I can't say that to them.
Right.
I don't want my son sitting on any man's leg. I don't give a fuck who you fuck.
I'm like, so if you came outside and just saw your son sitting on my lap, y'all would be cool with that. I'm not a pedophile, so y'all would be cool with that, right? And so I don't think they were defending the guy. They were basically saying, I think they were explaining like that's what's setting them off.
Yeah.
That's what's triggering him, that thought. And I'm like, I never accused him of that. I prefaced it by saying, I'm sure this is harmless, And so I'm cooling down. My son comes out. He's crying because he's never, he sees this guy trying to attack his father, and his father's taking the MLK route and stuff like that. So he's worried and all that stuff. I'm like, baby, everything's cool, man. Like, that guy couldn't hurt me, not at all. And so he's like, well, can I go back inside? I'm like, yeah, go, you can go chill. And so there's a doorbell, or like the doorbell rings. It's that dude. He came back again. And he's trying to get in the house to come back and do God knows what to me, right? And so they're able to keep him at bay. They're keeping him at the door, but he's really trying to get past them. Right. And so I don't know if they threatened him and threatened to call the police, but they finally got him to leave. And I had to tell the hostess who's sitting there with me, I'm not a pacifist. I'm not a passive person. I don't let people punch me. But I realized nothing good was going to come out of me beating this man up.
Yeah, that's what's fucked up.
His son,
you're beating up a gay dude.
Not just beating up a gay dude, I'm beating up a drunk gay dude. His son and my son are friends. They're going to see each other. We have mutual friends. Me and this guy are going to see each other for the foreseeable future. So it's like, there's nothing good that can come out of this. Not at all. I think he showed his true colors of who he was. And I think he and his husband showed what type of people they were, because the next day, forget me, I'm an asshole, right?
Yeah.
But they didn't call like the hostess to apologize for causing all that ruckus and cussing in front of the kids, and they didn't do any of that. So let me know what type of people these people are. And then I started hearing...
Not all of these people. Those two people.
Right. These two individuals.
Clear, you know what I mean? Not these people. Those two. Yes.
And then you start hearing about rumblings like the guy's a weirdo. He just says inappropriate things constantly. And so it wasn't just me, but I think he's rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. But it's just that I triggered him by saying, I don't want my son sitting on your lap. He's 10 years old. I told him he's too old. My son is almost 90 pounds. You bouncing him on your knee like he's, a toddler. I
don't care. No, we're not doing this.
Right. And so,
yeah,
because of everyone's, those two's reaction, am I the asshole in this shit? Like, was I supposed to not say something because he's gay? Does being gay give you a pass to just have some guy's son on your lap because you're gay and you're not a pedophile? I'm not supposed to say nothing. I'm supposed to be cool with it? And, it's like, Kyle, we are, really good friends. You are my best friend. I know your family well. I know you would have a problem with any of your kids sitting on my lap.
Absolutely. I'm so glad we got that clear. I would be very uncomfortable.
Exactly.
And you know what? I'd be uncomfortable with them sitting on your wife's lap too.
Any adult's lap. It has nothing to do with him being a man.
Would never.
If any drunk woman put my son on her lap and she just hugged him from behind and said, "Ooh, I just love him." Slow down. And I tried to be
after the age of 2. Those days are over.
Those days are over. And I tried to be.
You can do that till he's maybe 3.
Yeah. But yeah. I tried to be as respectful as possible, Kyle. I don't want to air him out in front of people to embarrass him. It's like, well, let me catch him by himself and just tell him, like, hey, man, I'm expecting, oh, my bad. I didn't even realize it. Sorry, it never happened again. Or at worst, the fuck you trying to say? But whatever. That's your son. So, okay, I won't touch your son again. We established that. Cool. That's at worst. Never in a million years that I expect that guy to react that way, where he poked me, that motherfucker punched me, and I realized this at the when we're getting into it. I mean, sure, you've had fights before and your heart's racing and all that stuff. My heart wasn't racing. I actually noticed that, like, oh, you're perfectly calm. You really can beat the shit out of this guy. Because, you're not going to be swinging wild. You're not going to be off balance. You can really hurt this man. I felt at peace. And so, man, like, the whole shit, I know people probably think the whole shit is me for not whooping his ass. I know a lot of our viewers, especially like DTLA.
Of course.
Like, oh, hell no.
Of course. Oh, man, this nah. But no, we grown ups now, man.
I'm grown, and like I said, nothing good was going to come out of it. Nothing good was going to come out of it. I'm going to see this guy. We probably won't speak to each other, which I'm fine with. I probably won't speak to his husband. I'm fine with, but I know if I put tips on him, maybe police report, issues.
Yeah, dude.
People like to become, they like to start shit, then become victims very, very quickly.
That's exactly what it is. And this is why what drives me crazy, man. When the protected class will not only poke the bear, but when they get swiped, now the bear's got to be put down.
Right.
You know what I mean? You go to the zoo and you poke the bear, and then you jump in the cage. Bear fucks you up well, and now we got to put the bear down.
Yeah.
Hey, who the fuck told you to get in that cage?
Motherfuckers.
Nobody told you to do that. So I'm just gonna.
I was saying, like, motherfuckers jump in them lakes that they say got alligators, and then the alligator kills somebody, and they go hunt the alligator. What the fuck for?
Yeah. Now, who told you you're in his hood? What are we doing here? So, look, man, as we end the segment, man, I'm gonna say this, man. Props for you to being present. And I'm so thankful that in the moment you could see the bigger picture. I am still a black man in America. And if I attack this guy, he already misinterpreted what I said. The story's going to be homophobic man doesn't want this man touching my son, so he beats the shit out of me. And it vibes with the narrative of black people being homophobic and blah, 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 not realizing. And so, man, sometimes, fellas, you got to take more than the high road, like when your girl slaps the shit out of you. It's the same thing. You just got to let that ear ring and then move away from her, even if it means you got to be the one to leave. Man, when we come back, man, we're going to briefly step into the front page. Ain't much to say after that. And then we have a Dear Erby from a man who found out his girl is doing porn. What should he do? Kamal and I are going to coach him up. It's an MRA podcast. Hey guys, what's up? If you're enjoying this show, do us a favor and donate to our Patreon.
Word.
Just go to www.patreon.com. That's Patreon.com and make a donation to the MRA podcast of Kyle and Kamal.
Word.
It's that simple. Listen to the show, love the show, share the show, break the show off with some dough.
Bars.
Kamal, congratulations. Your kids and wifey are out of the house right now. Tell us what's going on, please.
Well, you already know my oldest is away in college. And so the wife and my younger son, They are on the Disney cruise currently. So I got the whole week to myself.
Yes.
Whole week. The only bad thing is I got to
so
go to work
nice.
still. But man, I think I'm about to
when
live
you
it
get
up.
back, it's happiness.
Yeah. I couldn't have full happiness.
Freedom.
You can't have full happiness. But I'm gonna take it where I'm gonna take it where I can
'Cause
get
you're
it.
coming back. Well, congratulations, man. Enjoy it. Try not to eat too crazy because, when they're gone, sometimes, we don't have the principle in us to tell us what to do. So please try not to do anything too crazy. And whatever you do, don't start doing porn because when we come back, we have a Dear Erby from a guy who found out that his girl is doing porn. What should he do? We'll tell you next. It's the MRA Podcast. You need some advice in your relationship?
And can't afford a therapist?
Yeah. Hit us up and we'll get you through this.
We won't even charge you a copay.
Exactly. The Dear Erby letter is our longest standing segment on the MRA, dating all the way back to the webisodes. This is where we truly save relationships one listener at a time. We've saved marriages,
Encourage divorce.
taught a guy how to please his woman.
Encourage divorce.
Yeah, so hit us up for advice and we'll help you out. Send your emails to dearerby@themrapodcast.com. That is dearerby@themrapodcast.com. Let's get into this Dear Erby letter.
Letters.
Dear Erby, my girl got into OnlyFans as a foot model. She told me she would never take her clothes off because that would make her a hoe. I don't agree. I think it makes her empowered. Recently, she started doing full nudity, which led to her performing sex acts. Her money went through the roof, and I have been one of the major beneficiaries to the money she is bringing in. We have an open relationship, so it didn't bother me when she started doing sex tapes on OnlyFans. She promised me she would never hook up with strangers for money because that would make her a hooker. Last week, she told me she was going to start doing collaborations with male OnlyFans guys. These dudes are essentially porn stars. I'm not okay with this. I told her, and she got mad at me. She said it's her career, and she can do whatever she wants. She reminded me that I told her that she could do whatever she wants because it's an open relationship. I'm very upset, and I'm thinking about letting her go. What should I do? Scotty in Boston. Kamal, what should Scotty do?
Well, Scotty, I'm going to say this. You probably should have started out the Dear Erby letter with my ex-girl. What?
Hilarious.
You gave her an inch, she took a mile. Foot model, but I won't do this. I do this, but I won't do that. I'll do this, but I won't do that. There's no bottom. She keeps crossing lines that she sets. You don't have a chance. You have no chance whatsoever. I would say, honestly, man, enjoy it. I mean, you enjoyed it while it lasted, but to me, it's pretty much over. Unless you want porn stars running through your girl for money. I'm out.
Well said. When we come back, I'm going to weigh in. Yo, what's up? I'm Kyle.
And I'm Kamal.
And you're listening to the MRA Podcast, where men come to talk and women come to eavesdrop. Scotty, I love what Kamal said. You gave her an inch, you take a mile. Here's the thing. She is right when she says it's her career. And she is right when she says it's an open relationship. My concern is I would appreciate it if she said, hey, I'm really sorry. You're right. This was not part of the deal. I'm sorry. But that's the part that makes me upset. It's how she's doing the business. It's her not owning it. Because you might be able to work with these dudes, porn stars smashing your chick. Now, of course, it would be hard for me if porn stars were introduced because porn stars go raw and porn stars are not tested every day. They're tested, but not every day. So that would be the part that worried me. It would be hard on my ego to see my girl getting smashed, especially by professional penis. That's another level. You think you always say, come on, every guy thinks he can fight, every woman thinks she got good pussy, and just every dude think he got good dick. Yeah, well, you thought you had good dick until she starts fucking professional dick. Exactly. Until she starts fucking professional dick. Then it's like, oh. And so, yeah, you having to watch that is going to be tough on you. But I'm telling you right now, if I'm in an open relationship with a woman, I've already signed up for other dick. her have another dick. So look, man, you got to really figure out how you can navigate her saying one thing and then doing the other. So what should I do? Talk to her about her saying one thing and doing another. If she does not own that, then you got to bounce. Because if she can't at least see where she fucked up, then it's always going to be on you. She's going to be able to set the thing up, break the rule, and blame you. Break the rule and blame you. All right. So I get to have your kid on my lap and then blame you for being mad about it. And that's just not going to work for me. Where can we find you?
Twitter, Instagram, and Clubhouse at Angry Kamal.
All right. I am at Kyle Erby 13 on Instagram and TikTok. At the MRA Podcast is where you can find us both on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. KyleErby.com is my website. The MRA Podcast is where you can find all 209 episodes we have done. Kamal, this was a very special episode, man. You was vulnerable with us, man. I appreciate that you brought it, that you shared your real world with us, and that you were vulnerable enough to share your story, because I believe it can help others in the same situation. It does not help when you act a fool. Even if they're acting a fool, it does not help you, because they can flip it on you in a moment's notice. Just like if a girl's whooping your ass in the elevator, it never benefits you to hit her back. Because Ray Rice hit his girl once. I'm pretty sure she hit him twice and was coming in for the third hit, and he never played again.
Yeah.
Ladies, we love you. Fellas, be a man at all times.
Deuces.
MRA.